Praise God.
I know that's right.
No matter how hard it gets.
Thanks for calling Wholesome Maintenance.
We haven't finished yet. There's so much of life ahead. We've got so much to do.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lene Vanine.
I'm Sima,
And I'm Obio.
Welcome back to Hold for Maintenance.
where we are holding for maintenance, dear God.
Yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of maintenance,
I just got two terrible reviews today. Like, I'm never going to be pretty and my podcast is boring.
oh, okay.
Yeah, back to back.
And do you want to talk about that, though? Because I feel like I've been going through a little thing, too, with skin.
Sam, Obio, y'all don't
Okay.
talk to me about skin.
Obio was in the mix too?
Y'all don't piss me off.
No,
Don't piss me off.
I'm not in the mix.
Don't piss me off. And every time you say something to me
I
on the phone,
literally have a
Lene, how
pimple
come you
right
didn't tell me about
here.
that
There's a
skin?
midget right here playing poker.
And I showed
I'm
you
sorry, not
what was
midget.
happening right
That's a little
here.
person.
Y'all don't talk to me. Tell me what's happening right here. What's happening right here.
The
Look at
only
my
thing
face.
that's happening right here is corrector. I'm not going to hold you. Corrector
Sam, I
saves
saw you
lives.
without makeup 3 days ago.
And you didn't see the pimple in the middle of my
No.
forehead.
I'm not arguing over bumps.
Okay.
Because I'm not even.
Mine have had a family reunion, and it doesn't seem like anyone wants to go home.
It's a family
They're all hitting their electric slide
We
right
can
now.
go comment section for comment section. People have asked me to document my process to getting my skin right. Hey,
People
can
have-
you document your process to getting your skin clear?
People have prayed for me in my comments about how weary I must be, about how stressed, and how I keep on trudging on. Yeah.
What is in the spirits of people who like these well-meaning comments that
care.
are just like dragging?
They
That
care.
I've had brands pay me money to showcase acne products on my skin and then chronicle how it looks from point A to point C, and then still been like, keep trudging in the comments. At the end of the day, sweetie, we're in the same boat going the same direction. I don't know why you think we're not.
Same boat is insane.
And it's not even like a yacht. It's like a little boat. You got the little
It's
motor
like
on
a
the back.
canoe.
No.
Oh, okay.
You're in a yacht, sweetie. You're in a yacht.
Sim,
And I'm not mad
You're
at it because
giving
at
me-
least I have one thing.
Sim, you're not in the conversation. I hate to break it to
You're
you. I would
giving
love
me-
to add you, but you're not. I'm
I
sorry.
have acne problems.
Acne problems is insane.
Yeah.
I
You
think
have
human
pimples.
beings get zits. That's
Yeah.
very different than having acne problems.
I have dark spots. I have dark spots.
We are not.
Okay.
OBO, you are in a mid-size something that you can find on Lake Lanier. You know what I'm saying?
I'm in Lanier.
I don't know the name of the other one.
Okay.
Alatuna. Lake Alatuna.
Okay.
Something very cute, very family friendly.
Okay.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da.
I'm in here strapping together pieces of wood with rope.
Are you on
So
the,
you're on Noah's
the,
Ark.
the
I'm on
wood
Survivor.
from
Is what I'm telling you.
Titanic and Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack.
Maybe
The wood that
Titanic.
Jack and Rose were on.
I'm
after
with
the
that.
Titanic. Scene.
I'm with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
And I'm
Well,
sad about it. I'm so sad.
Is that a song?
I'm glad
What
about
melody
it.
is this?
Oh, okay.
I'm glad about it.
Now what movie
Lord,
is
you
this?
I
kept
say
me
what melody
on a
is this?
mighty
You
long
and
way.
these tones and pitches and melodies.
Lord, you kept
No, I'm
me.
saying like what song is this?
Let me see another day, doo-doo, in
don't know
my
that song.
darkest hour.
You know that song?
All right.
Well, maintenance shit.
Oh, she didn't care.
Oh, okay.
Are y'all good? Have y'all done anything fun this week or?
Actually, beyond being depressed today, I've been actively resting.
Come on.
You know, I've given up social media for Lent. And I've been like taking care of myself. I've been woosahing. It's like whoa, I can chill for a second. I've been practicing casting my cares on him.
Amen.
Amen.
Praise God.
So he can keep me in perfect peace.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's it on that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still reeling, unfortunately, from the fact that you said this is boring, you know, and I would like to know how to do better.
Do you listen to the podcast? No. Okay. So.
But okay, no. I think you guys might be being a little bit critical.
Okay.
Because Kyle also listened to it, and Kyle has never listened to our podcast, and I think he listened to one of our most recent ones and was just talking about how well we would do in a live situation. Like I was telling him just about the issues we were having with consistency and and just how we all are just trying to figure out our flow. And he said, well, you guys should keep pushing because if you get the success to be able to do this in person, y'all would eat. And I'm like, okay. So that lets me know that it sounds good. It sounds fun. But I guess not.
No, but the only reason why I'm saying in my perspective that I'm bored is because I'm a part of this friendship in real life. So I know what this gives on a Saturday night, Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Like, I know what it gives. And so for me, it's like, no, it's not that it's giving drag in general. Like, it's just dragging, period, you know? But it's like, I know that this gets spicy between the three of us. And I just want a little more of that. And I feel like the people deserve it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. We can move along. I'm going to try not to internalize it anymore.
Okay. That would be good. That would be best.
Okay.
All right.
How are you maintaining?
Oh, yeah, I'm great.
What did I tell you?
I told
Yeah, you gotta
this
stop
part
that.
isn't the part. I don't. This is my time to shine. I don't have anything to say. Life is good. Just navigating new waters. I mean, you know.
Okay, moving on.
What are the
You're done.
waters?
That's
What are
the
the
things,
waters?
OBO.
I don't know. I don't know how you kind of, you know, what's happening in my life right now. I guess I can tell you guys. I got Botox 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to settle in 2 weeks. 0 out of 10. I wouldn't personally recommend. I don't like how it's doing this little eyebrow thing. Like, when I get surprised, I'm not that surprised. Like, calm down face. But it was on some, like, my friend got it. He looked great. So I tried something different. There was also a promise of, like, skin benefits. That didn't really happen. So I was just like, we're just going to not do the Botox thing. But it was cute for what it was.
Can we see the surprise face again?
You know what I'm saying? If you're watching via the YouTube, then you see what type of time I'm on. But other than that, life is good. I'm still trying to figure things out. I'm Ghanaian in my past life, so I'm working on a
Okay.
few projects that I will not talk about until they happen.
Okay.
Amen.
But yeah, then I woke up. Okay, now we're getting a little too personal.
No, say it.
I woke up with like this. Like, I thought it was bed bugs, right? But it wasn't bed bugs because the bites were too big. I never had bed bugs before. Like, I wasn't raised in that kind of area. You know what I'm saying? Well, no shade, because that happens everywhere. But still, I was like, okay, they're not bed bugs. They came and cleaned my couch off. They came and checked my crib. But now I'm like, okay, well, what's happening? So I've been doing my little Google search, and so I'm dying in 24 hours.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what Google said. And so
Okay.
Right.
yeah, I have a flesh-eating bacteria.
Okay.
Right. Is
And
it
so-
eating you from the inside out?
It is. And
Okay.
but there's a second option of a stress-induced rash. That was a lighter one that I kind of like
It
landed
feels
on.
like we should be landing there more.
Yeah, that sounds like it
I'm gonna
makes
go
sense.
flesh eating.
It aligns more. I think the stress.
Yeah, there's been a lot of different things in life these days. And again, I told you guys last episode that I'm navigating a lot of like busyness, which is weird to me. And my therapist is super helpful. I hate to be a super therapy warrior, but I'm slowly but surely becoming that.
No,
Just
I
because I'm
need
like,
it.
I think everybody legitimately deserves therapy.
Yeah.
And what's funny, I asked my therapist for advice in our session yesterday. And she was like, I try my best not to give advice, actually. I want you to navigate your own thoughts and land where you need to. And
Jeez.
which was also my subtle test to see how good she was. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see if you're going to give me like homegirl vibes, because I don't want a homegirl. And a lot of my friends have homegirls as therapists. And I'm like, they're like, oh, forget him too. Leave that man. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no therapy. Yeah, long story short, I don't need a homegirl. I need a therapist. I think she's amazing. And I'm a therapy warrior now. I think everybody should go to therapy. And life is cool. I'm still navigating what I'm doing with this hair. Praise God. We don't know what the hell's happening up here. And yeah, that's all for me. Was that robust enough?
It was good. It
Thank
got
you.
Very
better
good.
towards the end.
Okay.
I liked it.
I also had a moment when you said you had bed bugs. I 100% believe that you did not have bed bugs. I also went through that, but I thought it could have been a possibility because my neighbors were nasty. But I don't know. Bugs were much more likely to be where that apartment complex was, but it wasn't bed bugs. But I was getting ate up. So just wash your sheets.
You got bit?
Yeah,
Where?
I was getting bit on my ankles, primarily my ankles.
How did they look?
Like little bug bites.
I'm gonna show you mine offline so you can see what the time we're on.
It's not a bug.
Okay.
It's not that. Yeah.
Because
Okay.
mine are like, yeah, they're coming. They're coming around
Okay.
that mountain when she comes for sure.
Just wash your sheets. But you also, as frequently as you clean up, I was certain you didn't have bed bugs.
I do laundry every 4 days. Like I really am like
It might just be a really smart spider.
it's a really like a Tyrannosaurus Rex kind of spider.
That's
Okay.
really insane.
I said smart because maybe it hides when you clean and comes back for you at night.
Or you could also be allergic to whatever bit you.
And so more as you scratch.
So don't go to urgent care when we leave here.
Absolutely.
No.
You should have been in urgent care days ago.
Okay, because that's how I was gonna go for the flesh eating part. Okay, cool. I've been
Okay.
putting aloe on it too. Were you being sarcastic?
No,
Oh.
I went as far to get one of those little. Okay, never mind.
What? One of those little.
So they have these little machines, and they just get really hot, but they're supposed to like stop your bug bites from itching, and like it's like a little. It burns you, and yeah, I don't know what
Where'd
it
you get that
does.
from?
The internet.
Because all I have is this little lotion. And it's,
Calamine wasn't helping me. Nothing was helping me, but
Nothing
that little
helped me
thing
either.
was helpful.
How long did it last? Weeks?
The
months?
bug
The
situation?
bite.
Oh, yeah,
Weeks.
weeks.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You give me a little
Okay.
bit of hope. That was good. I appreciate
Okay.
that.
Maintaining. Yeah, I don't have anything for this. I put so much on you today,
No worries. I'm not
and I
petty.
had nothing for me. What's happening? Oh, I'm getting more pregnant.
Okay.
I'm definitely getting more pregnant.
That's good.
Is that in like feeling? Is that in?
And like literally, I went to the gym on Sunday. When was it? Sunday? One of these days or Saturday. Went to the gym, did my regular routine, and literally felt like I brought a bowling ball with me in my bag and used it as I was working out. Like as I'm doing things that usually like I'm eating 4 minutes on the Stairmaster. I'm doing an easy 10 minutes on the bike. 2 minutes have passed and I'm like, whoa, I'm done. I just want to go home. I've already come outside and that's more than most of the pregnant women have done. So I'm already in the lead. I was so fatigued. So I'm getting bigger. It's weird that there's only one person in here because I still have a whole bunch of time left to go. And I literally feel like I want to lay down every single second, every day.
Is it still
I
time
have
for
these
two to be in there?
Is it what?
Is it still time for two? Oh no, it's not.
No.
How it works. Okay.
That's
It's
not
past
how it
time.
works.
Yeah. No, that
Unless
happens,
one's
though.
hiding.
Yeah, one's
Yeah.
hiding. Do you know in this book that I was reading a novel recently?
I'm
It's The
I don't know
Face
how
of
this works.
Curiosity.
Right. I'm like, what? I'm
I was
clocked
reading
in.
this novel where this guy talks about these things. I think they're called dermatoids or something, where sometimes an embryo will eat its twin, and then when it grows, it will start to grow parts of that twin. Like, so that's where people have like extra toes or like
Teeth in a weird
teeth
part
in a
of their
weird
body.
yeah, or even an eyeball somewhere weird. So yeah, twins do be hiding, and then sometimes people eat
They
their
get
twins.
absorbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Okay.
Nobody
Oh.
eats me like
Okay.
my twin.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Well,
That's it.
I'm excited to get to. Oh, go ahead.
What you excited
to the
get
things.
to?
Yeah.
To
No,
the
you
niggas
look like
online.
I
I
have.
am.
This is a good one today.
Yes, there's a lot of really good ones. So,
It's time for.
Niggas online.
Yeah. Very good.
yeah. Okay, so the Oscars just happened,
Okay.
and it's been all over our timeline.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys have noticed something really weird happen at the Oscars.
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay.
I've also given up television.
I haven't watched it either.
Okay.
But what I noticed on my timeline was that a bunch of influencers got invited.
My girls were there.
Did you notice that?
Who are your girls?
Oh, yeah,
Christy
you have
Sarah, Desmond's
Oh,
wife, she was there, and Monet, our Forbes sis,
Ooh,
she
she
was
was
there.
sick,
She
man.
Oh,
looked good
okay.
too. Yeah.
and they looked so good. Now I'm gonna give my
What
I'm
were
gonna give
they
my
being nominated for?
Read, Sim, because she's already reading.
Did they have microphones on the carpet?
Okay, whoa. Let me get through it.
Oh,
Relax.
okay. I was just asking. I was wondering. Because I'm finna go to some awards this weekend, but I'm being nominated.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's right.
Continue.
So, I'm happy you brought those concerns up, Lene.
Okay.
Because
Concerns, please.
personally, I lived because I got to see the girls that I watch every day on the internet. You know, like I'm a YouTube girl. I love to watch YouTube. I watch it like it's TV. So to see my people be in a space where you don't usually see influencers, I was super excited. Like, and they really did their thing. Everybody ate. And in my personal opinion, I feel like the celebrities, they cool, but a lot of them, they don't dress the way, you know, like they don't give a
look.
like, yeah. And I feel like the influencers, like they really like showed you their get ready with me's and they're trying different things out, and just like they took their personalities that you see on social media and they put it into these like really just elegant and upscale settings, and I thought it was really fun to watch. The reason why I wanted to talk about this before I get into people who had the same questions as you, Renee,
Okay.
is because, so me and Obi were watching this thing from Jackie Aina. Do I always say her name right?
You
Her
rushed
last
through
name.
that like you weren't sure.
Because I always say Jackie Aina, but then
I
some
thought
people say
that's what it
Jackie
was.
Aina.
Ina. I think it's Ina, but
It's Ina.
I think it's Ina.
Oh,
But
okay.
Well, we was watching Mama Jackie,
there you go.
and she did a video about how she's trying to transition into fashion. And she was talking about the fact that you don't see a lot of influencers in the going from like beauty to fashion or foodie to fashion because it's very hard to get into that space. And the truth of it is that influencers are not celebrities. And me and Obia were talking about that for a while. You know, what's the difference? And it really gave, like, when you looked at some of these responses about people reacting to influencers at the Oscars, that's really what it is. Like, you have celebrities and then you have influencers. So
Well, I will say, because as my friend, you had a different attitude when the situation was flipped. Oh, I didn't mean to share this much personal information, but I'll just say, remember there was a time in which someone told me I was no Angela Bassett and therefore didn't need to be in that space. The change and shift here is that I was in fact nominated for an award on said occasion, but that was something that they said because I was just literally asking for clarity, and they were just kind of you know how you be in the airport, especially in Atlanta, and they be yelling and they be talking to you, but they don't say excuse me, they just yell louder until you hear them. And so she kept saying this space is only for celebrity nominees and da 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 da, only celebrity nominees need to be here. And I realized she was speaking to me, and I was like, oh, what does that mean? Because not even trying to toot my horn, do I qualify for that in this space? And then she said, well, you're no Angela Bassett. Yeah.
and I held that on my heart
You did.
since this minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting.
Where does
See, and that
Wait, what was your response to that? Were
I
you saying
was
she
pissed.
was?
Yeah.
Okay, you were saying she was. Okay,
I
got
was
it.
saying
Okay.
that for the award that she got nominated for, especially, like, I don't know a person that fit the category more. So to say that, and it's not to say that at the end of the day, Angela Bassett is Angela Bassett and
for
Lene
sure.
is Lene.
For sure.
You understand? But it was like to make it seem like you don't belong here is what the person wanted to give. When it's like, if anybody belongs here, she belongs here. So my question is, like, is there a certain type of influencer that we look at and we're like, no, this person holds value. This person holds space. Like, this person is more than just a content creator. And what does that look like?
I'm trying to think. Because I think you said influencer and you also said content creator. And I feel
there
like
a
those
difference?
are two different. I do think those are two different things.
Okay.
Because I think Jackie Aina is an influencer and she creates content that influences. I think I'm a content creator and I can have influence. No?
I mean, I agree with your examples. It's not good, but
So what are your examples?
Because you influence people. A content creator to me would be like somebody who shows you gadgets, somebody who like just creates like cool things, versus somebody who creates content that influences. You influence people to read, to go get knowledge, you're influencing somebody to do something versus like.
But I don't know if like
Pretty. I don't think
in
that's
the
an example.
industry,
disagree with you too.
I don't know if in the industry that's what they mean by influence. I think there are certain people who create content and have influence. Like, for instance, I think the guys who do, there are 3 guys and they have a finance podcast.
Oh,
Earn Your Leisure. I think they're
love
content
them.
creators. And I think they influence people to make better money decisions, but you wouldn't consider them
Correct.
influencers, like in the industry aspect of the word.
And the reason why I agree with what she's saying is that to me, a content creator to me is somebody that creates a platform based on a specific niche of content. An influencer to me is someone that creates content based on their actual lives and allows whatever their life is to be the influence. So you don't need to have a series to be an influencer to me.
Right.
You don't need to have a podcast or a thing. People are just engaging with your life and what you do. So to me, Jackie is a content creator because she does do these like mini series things.
Wait, so who do you agree with? Because she said she was an influencer.
I
So
still
to
think Jackie's
me,
an influencer.
I feel like she's a content creator, and I do feel like Jackie is also a content creator. I don't feel
wait,
like
what?
she's.
I think she thinks both of. I think we all got
that
different
there-
opinions.
You can have.
Oh, right, okay.
No, I said that I disagreed with Obio.
Right.
Yeah,
but
but
you
you also
said
disagree.
disagree. You also disagree with her because you said she's
Yes,
not,
because you said that Jackie is one thing and you are another. When I think, no, you guys are different types of content creators. Somebody who's an influencer are those girls that they don't talk. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They put the music up. They show the things. They're
what are
not.
they influencing? if they don't talk?
People
I
are
think
influenced
a key
by
indicator
them.
of an influencer is someone who is, and I don't mean this in any derogatory way, but I think an influencer is somebody companies can use
Right.
Right.
to influence
influence you to
people
buy-
a product.
right, but
Which
if
is
you're
why
not talking-
I put Jackie in the thing of influencer, but she creates content to give that influence a platform.
Well, I think you need to create content.
Yeah.
If you're creating content, I mean, that's just how it goes. right?
Yeah,
Like,
but I think there can be people who are content creators who are not necessarily influencers. And to your point, there can be people who make cool things that could be hired out to do like user generated content.
right.
Yeah, it's murky.
I want to read the definitions.
Okay, got it.
You're
So
right.
we-
I think that would help.
We
for
ain't
sure.
answered the
Yeah.
question yet,
Yeah.
but
We'll read this and then we get back to it. So it says an influencer is a person with the ability to influence potential buyers of a product or service by promoting or recommending the items on social media.
Yeah, that's what.
And
I agree with that.
I agree
then-
with that as well.
Why you don't want me to press you? And then a content creator. Content creator. I'm gonna sing because my typing skills are mid. A content creator is someone who creates entertaining or educational material to be expressed through any medium or channel. So I guess the difference is the marketing aspect.
So you would be. a
I was
content
right.
creator.
Because some content creators don't influence, like they don't sell things. So it seems like the main thing as an influencer is selling a product.
That's kind of what I was getting at too, but I guess maybe because I'm putting her in a position, Lene in a position to be able to influence people to do other things.
Right.
Yeah,
You get what I'm
no.
saying? So if you have influence
For
in
sure.
my mind, but there's some people who I know who have a big following with no influence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you still don't make any money off of this page. You still don't.
Right.
yeah.
You know, you can be funny, you can be the things, but you still don't have any influence.
Correct.
Versus somebody who
Yeah.
could get you to get something else.
And so I guess go ahead. You
No,
were gonna
go
say
ahead.
the same thing as me. I was gonna say I guess the getting back to the question, who are the influencers you take seriously?
See, this is tough for me, which is why I was like curious to dive in because I don't care about awards at all. I never have, and because I think, and I also have a low key of a, I don't want to say an issue with awards, but I feel like what gets people to keep going is diminishing the value of awards until you get an award. Then it's a big back valuable again, right? So it's like it's about the work. Don't focus on the award, but then when you get the award, it's a bigger deal than it has to be. But then when you don't get awards, it's a small thing. Who cares about that? You don't need to validate you. So it's like weird. My relationship with it is very weird because I'm like,
Right.
we can't say I don't care about awards because you haven't gotten it yet. But then once you're nominated, now it's like, oh my god, you know. So it's like, which one is it valuable or not? And because for me, whether I get an award or not, and I've been awarded by queer spaces, and I'm grateful, but like, it's just not a big deal. Blue checks, and like all that stuff is just rubbish to me because I think it creates
Rubbish.
more of this like excluding various exclusivity thing that doesn't need to be there. Because even now, like, they're on the red carpet. Like, there's people who have been going to Oscars who have never been in cinematic movies. We don't say anything about. Who are probably never gonna be nominated for anything. We don't say anything about. You know what I'm saying? There's so many people. We call them seat fillers, I guess. But like, there's so many people there. And so in my opinion, it's like. And also, really quickly, I feel like we don't honor all the shifts that our world is taking. Social media is a part of our world now. It just
Yeah.
is what it
Yeah.
is. Like,
Yeah.
we can act like it isn't, but these girls have tens of millions of followers on social media and are in the spaces and in the things and are, you know, like me, again, I told you guys before, I got a SAG offer from a campaign I did on social. Like, and so it's like the waters are murky. It's muddy. Who is this? Even celebrity. Like, there's some IG girls who are more famous than some people who are considered
Famous.
celebrities. Even I think Housewives really was the first part of this, in my opinion. Like the
I see
Nene Leakes,
that.
because we
I see
created
that.
celebrities out of these women
For
who
like
weren't.
D-list celebrities. And I often wonder, are influencers, and I just don't even think it's so murky that you can't put the group of influencing and content creating in any like hierarchy. It's all about the individual, because I was asking myself, I said, are influencers considered D or Z list celebrities, like in that whole like hierarchy of things? Because I think that you would consider reality TV stars and FG whatever kind of celebrity, because people know who they are because they've been on television, and you've seen, like, I don't know, their personality and their personal selves in a capacity that you don't see other celebrities. But to your point, I mean, I feel like Kim Kardashian is an influencer and also a celebrity, and maybe the first
Oof,
of her kind.
that's kind of a decent point.
That is a wonderful point.
Yeah. I mean, what's her name? Kendall was a model, but all of those girls
Are celebrities.
are celebrities, but just influencers. Kim's acting now, but they're just influencers. They're just business women. who have been able to, like, we don't got to get too much. You know how I feel about that family unit, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do
And
we
then
know
there are
anybody
some-
else?
Even like a Nene Leakes, in my opinion. Like, she was on Broadway. She was on Glee.
That's what I was just
Like,
thinking about.
You
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
able to transcend this franchise and become, you know, you were on Broadway.
But to answer your question, no, there's not an influencer that I think I take seriously. And I don't mean that in any disrespect, because it could just be someone that I'm not thinking of, because I don't necessarily think of them as just an influencer. There might be a reason. I respect them, but on the whole, I don't think there's any influencer. Even Jackie, I think it's just unfortunate that I see her as a beauty influencer. I think she's famous. I think she has celebrity, but I think my biggest point in this is that there are certain award ceremonies, whether you care for them or not, because I think especially a lot of the black celebrities that attend these award ceremonies know that they're not necessarily for them and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But these award ceremonies are for something. Like, they're for a thing. Like, the Academy is for film and television, and because influencers do not occupy that space, do I think they should be attending the Oscars just to attend the Oscars? No, not necessarily. Do I think it would be amazing and awesome if they got to host some red carpet interviews? Yes, because that is in the content creation space. That is what would work well on socials. And I do think we spoke a little bit offline about just how I feel about how certain influencers make a lane for themselves. But I feel like this is in the vein of kind of skipping steps, of just like allowing the celebrity of, or even like the social celebrity of a person, to allow them to transcend certain things that have lines of demarcation for a reason. Like, it's industry. We're carving out industry. And it's not to say that rules aren't meant to be broken, because I think all influencers and content creators made a career out of breaking boundaries. But still, I think we're lacking a social media awards.
I wonder if that's still intact. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say, I'm going to say this how it's coming to my brain because there's so many thoughts. I think that celebrity for us as a society is synonymous with mysterious. And the less that we know about these people that we see in movies and on music videos is the more that we crave to know. And when I say we, I just mean the average person. The more that we crave to know, the more that we're like, what's going on with this? What's going on with it? And that's what makes celebrity so interesting. It's not just that you popped up in a movie, but it's that you popped up in a movie and now you're in magazines and the paparazzi is following you and that kind of thing. Especially for us as millennials, who we experienced that 2000s era where it was very celebrity based. And now growing up in this influencer era, the difference is when it comes to somebody like Jackie, for me, she's someone that I take very seriously, but it's because I find more value in the people who are transparent than the people that I do not know. But for the majority, it's like, girl, you on here talking about your life every day. You're touchable, you're reachable, you're accessible, you know? So therefore, I can't put you in the box that I would put a celebrity in because you're just a girl, because that's what you do. You show up and you talk about, oh, yeah.
No, that was me. I was literally
Oh, okay. Because I was having a moment today
okay.
with this lip gloss.
I wonder if that's
But,
geographic, though.
I think so.
Accessibility.
For sure.
You know, because you can go to LA and see Karuchi or Chris Brown at a restaurant.
And in Dubai, I'm pretty sure it's not how it is out here either.
And I was going to ask you guys, too, how are you guys gauging taking seriously? What's your measurement for that? When you guys say, I do or don't take someone seriously, what does that mean?
I was just answering the scope of this question. Like, I don't take seriously means I think you should be at the Oscars. Like, literally just that for the frame of this conversation. But like, I think there are influencers that you can take serious for various reasons, because someone like Jackie Aina, I don't even know, I'm not even in the beauty world, and I know that lady built her stuff from the ground up. And if anyone was ever given a class for $1,000 or lunch for $1,300, that might be something I might think about paying for.
Yeah.
But like, there are reasons to take people seriously. I think there are people who would take me seriously because of just the type of work that I do in the content creation space and making it look the way that I make it look. But
So if you were invited to the Oscars, would you feel like you should be there?
no.
Okay.
Would I take the invitation though?
And
Because I
period.
want to eat up
No, I
the red
got you.
carpet.
So I'm going to give y'all a quick.
And I want to say not
go
yet,
ahead.
because to your point about mysterious, there is a certain level that I've actually been struggling with in my career on social, because something that I have literally had my fingers in since I started was writing for film and TV. and really trying to manage, while the industry has been terrible and it's been difficult to break in, trying to manage how seriously I am taken and how much mystery I allow to exist around me, and still be able to be successful right now in the social media world that I'm in, but still be able to transfer. Like we talk about that a lot with Vane, like how much am I involved in that? Because it doesn't need to feel touchable. Like I'm starting to build things, and it needs to have those boundaries that I don't think exist when you just follow someone on social media. So
I wonder if that still exists. I think that's slowly but surely going away, in my personal
think so?
opinion. I do, because I feel like Abbott Elementary, right? Like, this is a girl from social media who has transcended into the entire show and has created a whole
She's a
life.
celebrity.
And she's at the Oscars, and I don't think anybody's questioning why she's there. There's so many.
Because she's on
she
TV.
belongs.
That's what I'm saying. But again, but she
She
started
writes.
off. She started off on Vine, right? Like, and like being an IG girl essentially before IG was a thing. But she was like, you got money and doing all this, and it was a meme girl.
And she was
so
on
like to go,
BuzzFeed skits and stuff.
yeah,
like
to go
that.
from a meme to who she is now, I think that we're seeing a landscape where you don't have to be as mysterious. We don't need that big line of separation. I think we grew up with that. We grew up with posters on the wall and fawning over these people. But I think this new generation of people wants to, like, they don't mind. You'll still be honored as a celebrity without having to be so, far back. You know what I'm saying?
I know, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I think there's more. Issa Rae, in my opinion, was a YouTube girl and has transcended that, and also like kind of is a little bit of an influencer, to be honest, right? She's doing stuff on social media with, Uber Eats and.
I'm not gonna lie. Those two people that you named, there was something that snapped, and they became mysterious.
But
That's
that's
what
what I'm
they became
saying.
what?
That's what
They became mysterious.
Because
Right,
you
that's what
didn't
I'm
hear
saying.
from them.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But I don't think you have to like be mindful of that before you get there.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think,
correct.
I
I
think
agree.
you're able to
Oh.
like retroactively be mysterious, right? I don't think it has to be like let me kind of be. I think you're able to say, okay, cool guys.
That makes sense.
There's a line now.
Cute.
Yeah.
Like, I done got
okay,
this
that
money
makes
up and not that funny up. I'm gonna catch y'all a bit later.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
that makes
sure.
sense. But that was the only thing that I was going to say. Both of those people also just had a plan to do
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
And
for
like,
sure.
they used it as an avenue. But to the point that I made earlier, I think the difference between them and this is just the skipping of steps, because these people aren't necessarily doing that work. And we don't know that they aren't, because these things take years to come into play.
Right.
But we haven't. I just think those people earned their space. And I think there's a lot to be said about them being Black women and me feeling that way. And it's not to say that these aren't Black women, but just like the amount of leeway that we get in terms of transcending and moving and like being able to shift and take ourselves out of boxes. I think there's a lot of more work that has to be done to earn the type of, not even just star power, but like those women left the public eye to go work on their shit. And now they're here.
Yeah, no good.
They got there, and I think that's a great way to wrap up that part, is that it's about the skill. I think that is what allows us to respect the celebrities that we know. The mysterious is one thing, but it is a skill that they put into their art and into their work. And I think that being an influencer, a content creator, is a great way to start out to put yourself in a position of advancing. But at some point, you got to step back, and do the work.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Yeah.
100%.
Agreed.
So, I'm very excited to hear what you guys think about this next thing that I'm going to get into.
Okay.
So recently, my girl Drea, I love that girl. And speaking of people that we respect, I know everybody has their opinions of Drea. I have always loved Drea through the controversy and all of the things, because this is a girl that if you look at her story, like, she just been through a lot. But at the end of the day, she just a girl. And I think people expect that because she's older, she has been in all these different things, that there's a point where she's just supposed to be a certain person, and she is not going to be that. So recently, news came about her baby daddy. Drea is 39, and she looked younger than me, and she got a 22-year-old baby daddy, and people were upset about that. I wanted to ask you guys, what is your take on dating outside of your age range? Because it's legal. Like, do you feel like 39, 22 is like, ugh?
From someone who, and I would just like to stop and say this is the first time that I put a face with the name. Drea has been like a Cheshire cat in my mind. I've never
I'm
known what she
obsessed.
looks like for real.
Yeah.
But as someone who's dating a man that is 1 year younger than me, it is rough.
Okay.
It is tough in terms of like brain development and things like that, and just having to mature faster just as a girl growing up. That's already tough to me. I'm not necessarily looking for no man that is 17 years younger than me. personally. I also, that's all I'll say right now. Oh, yeah.
I think there's socioeconomic things that contribute to maturity, right? I think access to wealth, it does, all those kind of things are different, right? Like a broke 22-year-old, maybe not, or a working class 22-year-old, maybe not. But I'm assuming he's like
and that's my biggest thing. I've been waiting for somebody to say it.
You know what I'm saying?
He's 22 with some bread in his pocket and a career.
So it's a little bit different. You own some stuff. I get that. Still creepy to me, though.
Okay.
And I was struggling to give an opinion because I usually try to stay out of people's relationships. But I think the way patriarchy is set up too, I was thinking about, or misogyny, I think if the roles were reversed and he was 39 and she was 22, would I feel the same way?
Correct.
And I think for me, it's creepy both ways, but I do think that there's a little bit of justification that I give for men who date younger women, and this idea that like women can be put up and taken care of into things without judgment versus like the reverse. Here it just seems a little interesting, but it's creepy baseline, but I could see a world where you are 39 and met a 22-year-old person who has their own stuff, so you forgot their age for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Because I think again, it's different when you have bread. I'm just being honest. It's a very different lane when you're dealing with a dude who got his own. He can fly you here. He can dine you there. He can talk to you like he got some sense. Like those kind of things happen when you have access to things that the average 22-year-old boy just doesn't have. And I think we're looking at it from the lens of the average 22-year-old boys that we've encountered and like you would never touch. But he ain't no average little 22-year-old boy from the block.
And I want to take it a step further. It's not only just that he has money, he's an athlete. And I don't know if you guys have ever dated athletes, but I think that they have a different type of mindset. Why y'all laugh?
I don't know why they make me laugh. I don't know if y'all ever dated some athletes. I don't know.
No, girl, we don't got the access. But I know some girls that do. And kudos to y'all. I wish.
Like, so dating athletes, they have a different type of mindset. Their discipline is different. Their life experiences, how they look at things are different. Does that mean that all athletes are just like these super mature and whatever? But again, no, they're not 22-year-old Jimmy who works at Subway and lives at home with his mama and wants to start his SoundCloud career. That's not the 22-year-old we're talking about.
How did Subway get in it?
I don't know, Sam. I don't think giving a 22-year-old with money. I don't think giving a 22-year-old money like changes. It changes their everyday experiences, yes, but I don't think it changes the level of development that I'm looking for. And that's just me personally, because I've said like multiple times to, whether it's to OBO or, I don't know, just talking to my boyfriend about past people I dated, I'm not a one-night stand type of person. Like, in order to get me anywhere where I'm about to lay down with you, there has to be a certain type of, like, connectivity. And I don't think that, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think in, like, reality, I think if you took the money away from that 22-year-old person, what would you have? A 22-year-old person.
But the money is there.
I have a hole for maintenance.
It's just money. It's just money.
So I have a little hole for maintenance moment for us. I want to go around. Who were you guys at 22?
Where was that?
And we will all answer truthfully.
I don't even remember, child.
22.
Oh, child.
I was living in my car. I was in college. Senior year of college, graduating college, sleeping in the whip. My Monte Carlo, shout out to you. And yeah, young.
What were you
What does
like?
that mean? Would you date you right now
No.
at 22?
At 39.
At
Should a
20
39-year-old date you?
At my 22-year-old self, no. And I think if I'm being hot, which is why I disagree with Lene here.
Okay.
If you would have gave me some money, I would have been a different boy.
Would you know how to use it?
But I think
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying, but I think we think about athletes, right? They're in a system of money. They're not just like a random schmo of money, right? They're under mentorship with money. They're under teammates who have money. They're under coaches. They're under a system of money, which is different than giving just our individual 22-year-old boy some dollars and saying, go have a good time. Because, yeah, I would have definitely blown it. It would have been shopping and cars and clothes, right? But I'm saying, like...
I would have blown it now.
Huh?
I would have blew it now.
Yeah, right, exactly. You know, but I think, like... And also, I think who we're dealing with, no knock to Drea, but I think... she may not be looking to get super interpersonal with her partner.
Yeah,
right?
no,
And so
I get that.
if you're a girl who wants to be wine, dine, treated well, good sex, fun nights, a 22 with money can give you all of that.
Yeah,
And
I get that 100%.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's a real reality. But yeah, me at 22, no. 0 out of 10.
Who were you at 22?
I don't even quite remember, if I'm being honest with you.
Was it the
22.
shortcut?
What year?
What
I
was
was
you
a
getting?
shortcut for sure. I'm trying to figure out what year 22 was.
2016.
2017 for
Oh,
me.
17. Oh, okay.
2017 for me. I know nothing about nothing. I thought I knew everything. You know, I was fine. I look good. I was working as a bottle girl at a club. I started my master's program.
Hey, when were you a bottle girl? What club was this?
11:45.
Word.
11:45. But no, I wouldn't date me.
Wait, what bottle girl? Can we go into the bottle girl moment? What was it? Was it shorts?
Okay, bottle. No, it was bodysuit and tights and boots. And bottle girl is strong because they wouldn't let me be like the seasoned bottle girls wouldn't let me be a fully realized bottle girl, even though I was the hardest working person in there. But they would like try to take my tables. They would push me off the schedule on nights where like the big spenders was happening.
You gotta fight
So
for
on
your
those
spot.
nights, I
Was it
literally.
like this kind of situation? Like,
Was you giving that?
I know you don't like bottle girls. I know you make fun of them.
do I?
Yeah. Didn't he say
What
that
are my
to you?
opinions? I don't know. I don't remember.
You know I used to be a bottle girl too. Don't play with us.
Yeah, but I don't remember my opinion about bottle girls. I don't know what my opinion is.
I thought it
I
was
didn't know
jokes.
that.
I haven't been to many
Hee-hee,
straight establishments. I
ha-has.
haven't been to many straight establishments.
Straight
We don't really have bottle
establishments.
girls at my establishments. We don't really have them.
Got
Give
it.
us get out, girl. Like, why are you here? We don't really want to see that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
so yeah, it gave that. It gave that. I remember my worst night as a bottle. No, my worst night is when someone got. They had a rule. The number one rule was if somebody comes in the establishment saying they know the manager, go get the manager. I tried to go get this motherfucker 6 times, and he kept telling me, "I'm be right there. I'm be right there." The people who knew him was getting on my ass, like, and I'm gonna tell him that da. So I sit these people, and after everything they order, I bring them a check because that's how we do it anyway. Because people usually order one thing. No, it's fine. We're ordering more. Like, relax, girl. Like, we're getting things. These people rack up a $90 bill that I didn't have at the time. Left, skedaddled, skipped to their loo on my ass.
And you're responsible to pay for it when
I was responsible to pay for it.
Oh,
I
when
sat there
someone
and cried
leaves?
in the hookah. Yeah, if someone leaves, you have to pay for the bill. So I sat
Absolutely.
there and cried in the hookah
How do
room.
you control if someone leaves or not? You,
You better
security?
run. I ran
Yeah,
and
you're
chased
supposed to
somebody
get security.
before. Yeah.
So I did that the second time when I saw a man he was like trying to put on for the people around him, and he saw the check and was scared. I went and immediately got security. I said, "Get him," because he's finna leave. And so I didn't have to pay for that one. But it wasn't even worse. I think I was too uppity for the real situation that I was in my life. And I had a table, and this man just started making money rain and stuff like that, and it was all on the floor. And I decided in my brain that because it's my table, that was my tip. But I wasn't about to lower myself to get on the ground and grab it as soon as he dropped it. So I said, I'm gonna deliver these drinks, and when I come back, I'm gonna get this money. Came back, the girls who was sitting with him was getting the money off the floor, and I was like, fuck, I needed that money. I needed it. And I should have just got down there and got that money. I think about that to this day. I'm so sad about it.
Renee, please.
Anyway, but yeah,
Wow.
22-year-old me was just trying to survive. Making a way when I can. I was temporarily laid off. It wasn't good times. But yeah. So no, and again, like just knowing myself and other 22-year-olds. And it also depends on what you're looking for, though. So to your point, that was the second thing that I was going to say. I don't think that I don't think that money changes the 22-year-old. But I think that when you're 39 and you also have your own things, whatever you want is whatever you want. Like, he could be a good time. She could not be pressed about his ability to hold conversation or whatever else you're looking for of someone who might be your age. I just think that we find it strange because there's an age gap, and he's barely legal. He's legal, but he's barely legal. And it's just something to think about both ways. And to your point, I think it's been socialized for men to be able to do this more frequently. But I think a lot of us have still felt that's weird and predatory. And we hear people like Marcus Houston, who was saying last year, I prefer somebody who ain't got no baggage. Means you want somebody who don't want nothing, who don't know nothing, and can't talk back, and don't understand manipulation and things like that. So I just think all the ways people manipulate relationships like this comes to mind when we see it. But it could be that they're getting whatever they want from one another, and we just don't know.
So, and I guess that's why our perspectives are a little different. Because at 22, I had just had my first child. I had my own townhouse apartment. I had my own car. I had just graduated. I was working at Geico, and I was making commission there on top of my salary. And then I was also because when I was in college, I worked at K Jewelers as a manager. I was able to keep my manager salary and only coming on weekends, but still bring in extra money for myself. So I had started my first business at 22. So for me at 22, it was a lot of me thinking about how to create a life, I was on my own. I was living in Niagara Falls at the time, so I was away from family. It was just me and my child's father and my child. I was, paying for daycare that cost the same amount as my rent, and I still had money left over. Sure. So I was in a really solid position. So even when I think about 22, for me, 22 is not the place where, like, just because you're young, you don't have life experience if you had put a couple more dollars in my hand, I would have already had places. I had a mentor who had her own business, who was kind of leading me on, like, okay, maybe you want to do it this way, do it that way. I was networking. So for me, I don't look at 22 as it has one way to be. And there are some 22-year-olds that I feel are more mature than some 40-year-olds. Because there are some grown men that I have met that are older than me, and the things that come out of their mouths the lack that comes out of their lives is crazy. And people get pregnant for them. People have babies by them. And they don't have any kind of cushion when they do get pregnant for them. They don't have any kind of support, any type of plan. But because he's close in age, it's all good and it's cool. To me, I think that we form our opinions a lot of times based on our experience of what would it be like if you got pregnant for 22-year-old me. If you had gotten pregnant for 22-year-old me, you would have been straight.
I think I just feel like you're not. I think of the ages that we're talking about. Like if he was 30 and she was 47, I would feel differently.
Yeah.
Because I think at 22, whether you have your own job, you're self-sufficient, you don't know who you are yet. Just period to me. I don't care what you have. I don't care where you are. You just don't know. There's so many more changes to go through. Versus the person at 40, you are a little more rooted in who you are.
I know 40 years old who do not know who they are and what is going on.
No, I'm saying, but they also are more rooted in not knowing who they are at 40 than they were at 22. Like at 22, you're more.
I get what you're saying.
I'm just saying at 22, you're just more hopeful. Like at 40,
Yeah.
even if you are a bum, you're like, I'm gonna be a bum. Period. But at 22-year-old, when you're a bum, you're like, I could possibly not be a bum one day. I could, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I have people in my family who are bums and 50, right? But they're like, I'm gonna go drink a 40 and go home. I'm gonna be a bum. Like I'm not moving. And at 22, it's like
you could be anybody.
You can be, and I think also like you can be rich at 22 and then back broke at 27 because you have a good practice. You just had good. You were surviving, and I think at 39, especially in Andrea's case, you've kind of done a lot of things that have kind of guided you towards who you are, and you might be a little more rooted. But I don't know. So I guess I'm in the middle now.
And on the scientific side of that, there's a certain age in which we just finish developing socially. Our brain finishes developing. So I feel like there is a cap in which everything is free game, and whatever you decide to do is up to you. And I still probably have my own personal reservations. But I do think, like, I don't think men stop, like, I don't think their brain stops developing until like 20. I think all of us stop developing around 28, 29, 30. And so after a certain age, I think everything he said is true. But on the other side of that, just like scientifically, I think there is a level at which is free game, and I don't think 22 is in that level.
What's a healthy gap for you guys? Like, there is a gap in age. What like feels like?
I think after 30, it's what you want it to be.
Okay. I don't have a gap because when I was 25 and I moved out here, I was dating dudes who are like 45 and up, and they taught me a lot about just so for me, like, I don't have a gap as long as you're dating and you are legal, but I do, because I had those experiences, I do know that when you are dating older people, whether it's men or women, whatever, it's still, you have to be careful because of how they view you because you're younger. At the end of the day, you are more vulnerable. And no matter how smart you are, no matter how many resources you have, you are still at risk of being manipulated.
Them trying to play you. That's all. That's why no issue. That's why I don't do older than me. I'm not doing it. Past 5 years, it's a bop. I hate to break it to you. We could possibly have a good night. We're back in the day. But otherwise, I'm not going to be your kid.
Right.
And I hate, God, today. You done got me hype. I hate her. Well, this way. Girl, move it. I did it that way, and I'm going to protect you. I'm going to make my own mistakes, girl. I hate to break it to you. Thank you. I'll call you if I need you, boo.
And that is the thing, too.
I hate her, Ope. I hate her, Ope. I hate that. Who had to be blowing my vibe? Well, I thought the same thing. I was your age. I thought I knew everything too. Well, cool, girl. Cool. Cool. I thought I knew everything. I was your
This is
age
coming
too.
from
And
such deep-seated.
you remind me of me when I was younger. No, I don't.
I don't.
I was way more sickening than you. I hate to break it to you. Hate to break it to you, girl. No, I don't. What I like.
I've never
I
experienced.
still want to fight some of them. Now I think about it. Okay, I'm done.
No, that's fine. No, I can't speak from experiences I don't know. I can't tell you.
Yeah, it's
Well, you never did the order before?
I tried.
wait,
period?
ever.
No.
Me and Sim
I tried to
always
be
like
a.
that.
I tried to be a sugar baby at one time.
Oh, cute.
And what
It didn't work
happened?
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
They want some sugar.
No. I never even got that far. I just think I didn't know how to like properly communicate because on the thing, my name wasn't my name in real life.
Okay.
And so when we decided on the arrangement, it was going to be a real cute little arrangement. I would just show up to the day. He would pass me the money in an envelope under the table, and I just had to keep him company. And I was like, oh, okay, love this. So he asked me for my email address, which was strange, but he was old, so whatever. And it's my name, like my real name. And I said, oh, I forgot to tell you my name was Lene. Never heard from him again. Never
How
heard
old were
from-
you at the time?
Maybe 20,
How old was he?
45.
Do you know if he was black or not?
He was white. It was really difficult for me. I'm not gonna hold you, and that's kind of why like I stopped because it seemed like everybody that wanted to talk to me was a white man, and at the time I didn't have an issue with that. It just got really awkward when they would ask me questions. Oh, where do you go to school? I go to Spelman. What do you study? Black stuff. Oh, why are you interested in black stuff? Well, and then I would have to go through this whole thing, and I was like, it's not really sugar baby conversation.
Yeah,
And
why are we being honest? What's up with
I
you?
was thinking the same.
What's going on with her?
I'm not a good liar.
I go to Georgia State,
I'm not a good
nursing.
I don't
liar.
even go to school. I'm studying
School?
for my CNA.
I'm not good off
LeBay,
the
who
top.
is that?
I'm not good off the
Why
top.
wouldn't you make up an email?
She talking about I have a goal of dream being an actress. Girl, why?
I'm studying black
My mom is really
things
supportive. Like,
because,
what are we talking about?
You better make up a persona, Peaches.
So,
But-
like I said,
Peaches.
I did not know how to communicate as a sugar baby, so I was unsuccessful.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
I'm pretty sure the sugar part would have made it a little bit difficult. Baby.
Yeah, no, I was going to stop at that point every time anyways, but, you know, I
Okay.
was going to get as much as I could in the beginning. All right.
Okay, so moving on. I don't know if y'all noticed or not. Today might be our last day on TikTok.
Dang.
What?
So the U.S. House of Representatives
Oh, my God.
is going to make a decision tomorrow. They're going to vote
What?
on whether or not they will be banning TikTok in the United States. And shout out to Kensington Gray because they actually, I didn't understand it, basically. I didn't understand the logistics, but they did a little slide today that
cool.
broke down like what is actually happening. So I'm going to read it to you guys.
Okay.
So they said TikTok calls on U.S. users to contact the House of Representatives, urging them to oppose the latest proposal to ban the app. So if you go on TikTok, there were some little ads out there that were like, your voice can help your community. You and over 170 million Americans have built up communities on TikTok, but now they're at risk. If the House of Representatives votes to ban TikTok on Wednesday, so by the time y'all are listening to this, it'll be too late, I guess. But yeah, then that's pretty much it. So TikTok is claiming that the proposed bill is in violation of the First Amendment. So the question that a lot of people have is like, TikTok says the new bill would ban TikTok in the U.S. Is that true? Because, we've had this conversation before. Like, people were like, oh, TikTok's going away, and then it didn't. So the answer is yes and no. The Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act wouldn't outright ban TikTok in the U.S., but it would ban it if ByteDance, its Chinese owner, refused to sell its U.S. operations to non-Chinese owners. So basically, it just puts the owners in a position that if you want to continue this, we need to be having our hands in it. It can't just be you. Because the fear is that they feel like the Chinese government having so much control over TikTok, the company, could soon have an effect on American politics. So, that being said, I went ahead and I do want to read some of these comments before we get into our feedback, and then we can talk about it.
Okay.
So, Portia Nicole said, TikTok itself don't even stand up for their creators, but they want us to stand up for them. Yeah.
Well,
Squawk Square says, so Congress is going to vote to ban TikTok during an election year, moving a mass amount of traffic over to Meta, which is controlled by a Democrat and can filter out content as he wishes. Nah, no coincidence here, as Republicans have a lead in the polls. So the conspiracies have begun. Sean Ecom says, who benefits from a TikTok ban? Meta. Those users will just go on Insta. Google. Some users will go on YouTube Shorts. Amazon. No more shop competition.
Ooh.
Walmart. No more shop competition. Temu. Biggest rival killed. Who is
I
next?
thought TikTok was through Temu. I thought they was together.
What is Temu?
Temu is through
like a Shein.
another company.
Oh, it's like a Shein.
Yeah, that's what they're through. Who is net neutral on a ban? Apple. They don't really get a cut of the business. Shopify. Kind of a rival, kind of a sales channel. Who is hurt from a TikTok ban? A few thousand small merchants, like our good friend Paul. He's just talking about like your everyday person. A few hundred agencies. Temu and Shein, while they benefit short term, a ban will come for them as well because they are also Chinese owned businesses. And so, yeah. Someone else, Anthony Zenka, says, if you don't understand why Congress wants to restrict or ban TikTok, spend just 15 minutes on there and search for things like capitalism or Palestine, and you'll have a pretty good idea.
Well, I was actually going to be talking about this in the parking lot on Friday. I actually have to shoot it early, so I'm hoping that I just didn't know that TikTok was on the chopping block. As I said, I've been off socials. But we were talking about it from the perspective that all this talk is fine and dandy, and I think this last comment has hit it on the head. I think it's mostly about the amount of information people are getting and have access to immediately without the filter of propaganda. Like, there's just been so much uproar, and granted, in the United States, it hasn't really affected much change because our government has shown us that they're going to do what they want to do. But it does feel like, especially in an election year, I feel like beyond it helping either party, it puts American citizens in a situation to where they are limited on how much they know about what's going on internally and externally.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest concern.
My thing was, immediately to me, I just did think of the political thing. I know that this is a political move, and it was strange to me. I don't know if you guys remember when we had the lady who worked for Facebook, when it was still Facebook, and she spoke about the algorithm and the things that were being done on the algorithm to encourage people to have more negative thoughts and to post more negative content and to do things that encourage people to be sad and depressed to stay on the app, because they realized that negativity was more addictive than positivity.
Well,
There was no ban because the priority wasn't the well-being of the people. But now that the priority is the favorable outcome of the election, now all of a sudden we want to ban a social media app. And that to me is why I personally feel like that is, against our First Amendment. What do y'all think?
I don't have any thoughts.
No thoughts on it?
Yeah, I feel like I don't even have a feeling, actually.
Do you think you'll care if it's no longer a stream of income, or
It'll be another one.
you think so? Like Vine?
There'll be something. I mean,
I don't.
I think social media is just a part of the landscape now, and I think people will find whether it's all market over Instagram, and it will just all be Instagram people, but it just feels like it's part of the scope.
The reason why I feel sad about it is because we got so much information from TikTok. Like, it was a huge resource tool. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I just got my insurance license back. I use TikTok to study on there. I'm studying for my real estate exam now. I use TikTok to study on there. So
yeah,
TikTok.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think you're gonna say the same thing.
I was just gonna say, I was in conversation with someone, but my answer to them was like, type in the TikTok search bar like you would on Google, and you can find like a wealth of information, how-tos, and so many things. It was becoming a one-stop shop, and individuals were just investing in being able to help one another, and free of charge to an extent. And I don't know what he means by searching for things like capitalism, but TikTok it could have it. Granted, it helped, propel capitalism in some ways, but it also broke it down in others, because now we're just passing information. We're breaking down walls in academia and all kinds of stuff that are happening. So I think it might be another one, but TikTok was, and maybe because TikTok was after Instagram, after Snapchat, after Facebook, after Twitter, but it seemed to take off in an exponential way that no other app had done.
Right.
As far as connecting people across the globe and becoming this resource tool.
I think the only big difference is who owns it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that they're trying to change. And once that changes, remember Instagram used to be that way once upon a time. Instagram used to be able to see all your friends' content, used to be able to go on your explore page and actually see new things. And now it's completely strategized into a way where they only want you to see what they want you to see. Yeah. So, but yeah. Speaking of the world, take it away, friend.
Speaking of the world, take it away.
I want to take this moment to say we only got 24 minutes, so we're not going to do as much of a deep dive as we usually do in the Big Kahuna. But I don't know, do you guys want to take a moment to just talk a little bit about our experience with the podcast and what we want to do differently? I just noted that with our analytics, this is where people be logging off. And it's actually a really robust part of the podcast. And we actually have like a whole researcher dedicated to this part of the podcast to make sure we have reputable information to be sharing with you. And I know when we started the podcast, we talked about peer-reviewed and something. I don't know, but we were just pop culture meets peer review. And that was the big sell, that we were talking about things with a very much nuanced perspective and offering information. And so, I don't know, just wondering how this is going to hold up in the future. I think we also have had major shifts and changes to our schedule that make it difficult for us to meet and do this. So we've already considered different ways we want to do this. So I don't know. I just wanted to have a beat where we chat a little bit about that to let the listeners know that we're working on it.
The funny thing is, I actually feel like this Big Kahuna is something that is super relatable to. And so while I do want to take a beat, I do want to make sure we spend a little bit of time speaking about it, because I think us as people are being super affected by that. But to your point, yes. What my favorite part about Hold for Maintenance is that it holds true that when things don't feel right, we have these talks and we have these moments about, hold on, let's stop. Let's kind of regroup and redirect. And just like to the first time, your Stanley Cup is
out of water.
Finished.
That joint done.
When we first did our very first episode that you guys still have never heard,
and won't.
the first thing that we did.
What was it about?
Who knows?
Okay.
The first thing that we did was we went to get something to eat, and we had a good time.
Talking about a celebration.
Yeah. So
we looked at each other. It was the point in the dinner when the fork started hitting the plates and there was silence. And we said, so you listen to it? You listen to it? It's terrible.
Yes. And it was. So, one thing about us, people who like good things, and you can tell by we like to laugh. We like to enjoy things. We like to feel things deeply. When we're not laughing anymore or feeling things deeply, we're going to talk about it. But I think that we're working on some really cool things so that we can do that again. But we going to need all the patience from the people.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. I'll be over it.
Yeah, I think podcast in itself is a saturated space right now. So I think it's just tough. And I think a lot of podcasts also share similar formats, like critical review and the things. And so I think the nuance literally is your perspective of the thing, like what you're saying. And I think getting people to buy into what you're physically saying, like you being us three, is like an interesting space to be in. And I also think communicating what you know to be true of yourself is a little bit difficult sometimes. It's kind of, I think we had a conversation similar to this recently where I was saying that, like, I know I'm certain things, but have I communicated that to the consumer? And if, you may know that you're fly, or you may know that you have all these opinions, but if you don't share them, then the people don't know. And I think likewise to us, kind of to Sim's point earlier about how when we are in private, how we are versus how we are here. And there's also nuance to why that is the case, right? There's a lot of nuance there, but
nuance is in the room with us.
Yeah, there's nuance for sure. I think also like certain things we can hear each other say in a way that they can't.
Yeah.
Because they're not physically our friends, you know? And so I think, you know, there's certain slurs that I say privately that I would never say publicly, and not because I'm a private phony, but because they're said in a manner that we understand versus me saying them here and being like, well, he said what? Like, y'all hear what, you know what I'm saying? And so I think there is like a little bit more whatever, but I think to the point, like finding that balance of being transparent and also things that are transparent that also no shade are none of their business.
Correct.
Which is also tough. Because
Right.
your point earlier about our point earlier about showcasing your private lives, there's still a line of separation that has to happen for you.
Absolutely.
And I often say I can be in the middle of sharing a story and decide that I've gone to the point that I want to go to and stop. And I think like honoring that is interesting. I personally, and they think I'm just trying to disagree all the time, but I think we don't disagree enough. I just think that we just,
I
I
finally
don't like
agree with that.
harmonious conversation. It's just boring to me because I feel like we're all just like, yes, 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 I feel you, you know what I'm saying? It's like, girl, this is one band, one sound. And I feel like today we're like, we kind of had a little bit of disagreement, which was cute. I think, which is why I actually enjoyed being in this episode. I think I don't.
He hated the other one.
He hates
couldn't
it
wait
here.
to leave.
He hates it.
No, I just like sometimes when you're
Looking
hearing
at the time, is it?
no, that's not true. I feel like I watch, I watch other podcasts that like, there's just, I don't know. I guess like maybe if we spent time figuring out the ways in which we may have separate thoughts, like and bringing those topics to life, may also help us be a little more dynamic, opposed to just being like, exactly.
I feel that. I definitely feel like I have a internal drive myself to emit the best kind of conversation to influence the best in people. And I feel like there's so much, and it's not to say that we would have any like fluff or mess to say, but I just feel like there's so much contrarian content. And unfortunately, like you said, negativity is what keeps people coming back, whatever. But there's so much contrarian content and there's so much maladaptive content that I just want to make sure that we're getting out the best possible spurts of information to encourage people to go and do things in this amount of time that we have.
Yeah.
And is it always entertaining? No, but I do think I can challenge myself. Because even now, I think there are times when, even in this episode, when I disagreed, I said it versus just holding it and saving it for later, or being like, oh, I can bring this up later, or I can just talk to them about line, just like saying when I disagree.
And I think we also have the capacity to disagree respectfully, and even go there in a way that is also still intelligent, right? Without being insulting. And I think that's the nuance that I think we don't get to see often, which is like, we don't become bitches and hoes because we don't share the same thought, right? You're able to say, I don't agree. This is what I actually feel. I say, well, I still don't agree. And also I like, because all of us are definitive in our language enough to still hold our point, right? Like now, but also not egotistical to the point where we can't change our perspective with given new information, which is why I think we have the capacity to disagree.
Well, I disagree. I don't like how you say anything about anything.
It is what it is, sister.
Yeah.
Take
we
a
were just
break.
agreeing like consistently,
very
so I
good.
tried to.
I felt like I was in an improv class for a second, and I was watching
It's
and I
giving
said,
acting.
okay, let me let, okay.
Oscar's me.
Acting is in the room with us.
Right.
Oscar's me. Okay, we said it.
All right. Well, so just to get into this a little bit,
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting into it every day, every time we look into our bank accounts, Jesus, the
child.
state of the economy. It's hitting hard for us in 20s and early 30s because it's really our third day out here. Every time somebody's saying, like my little brother turned 21 this year, and I had positive things to say to him, but I was like, adulting is not no ho. I remember after freshly graduating out of undergrad, and I was at someone who's a class underneath me who's about to graduate. Any advice? It's not fun out here, and it hasn't been fun. That was when I was 21. I said that, and now 8 years later, I'm saying that to my brother still, because it's rough. It's hard to adjust, and so I even think, especially for our generation, as soon as we were starting to get a morsel of stability. We was talking about that when we walked in the room. As soon as we started to get a morsel of figuring ourselves out, the economy goes to shit.
Right.
And we're not in a recession, and I'll get into what exactly we're in right now. But we've seen people who work on average everyday jobs all the way up to A-list celebrities talk about money problems. And unless you really get into it, it's hard to know exactly what that looks like for the economy and what it looks like for it to be failing. And for the average person, it may just look like not being able to live alone. But that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. I was just talking to a girl. It's a crazy sentence to say, but I was talking to a girl who's designing my dress for the Image Awards this week. But she was saying she's been here since she's our age, and she went to Clark, but she dropped out because that was expensive. But when she got here, she had an $800. She paid $800 for rent. What? I ain't never seen. I never seen that. Do, do, do. So
No.
y'all didn't have the
we're
Wow
not catching- we're not
Gospel.
catching
This is
any of these songs.
this is
Wow.
like the
Fourth
fourth song
song.
that I'm like,
So
where
y'all
is
didn't
this
What is the
have-
melody? I
at?
don't know what this
Y'all
is.
didn't have the Wow Gospel 2002 CDs, is what you're saying.
I don't think so.
Got it. Anyways, I've never seen nothing like that. My rent is crazy. I've actually been trying to leave, but it's more expensive for me to break my lease to go to a new apartment than it is to just stay in the apartment. But it's crazy. It's insane. How's the economy treating you guys in this moment?
Why would she embarrass me like
I was just inviting you guys in to give your perspective. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I feel like, I mean, it's treating me well. I can't lie. But I was just having a conversation earlier today with my friends, and I was saying what you'll never hear me say is call somebody broke. Like, just 'cause I know I'm not that far from it. And I think that's the part about stability. That's the thing. I may, roast. I have my critiques for sure, but I just know broke is not that far. And I think it had me thinking, like, is that an okay thought? Like, why is broke always so close? Like what is the economy doing that we're all so not that far? Even if you have a bunch of money, and I have a decent amount of money, I'm still not that far from broke. And it's just wild that, like, how much money do you need to not be far from broke?
Oh, a lot.
You know what I'm saying? And I think even likewise, the people who want to have a simple life, I get on my friend about this all the time because he wants this very simple life. And I tried to tell him, what's up, man of God? It costs a lot of money for a simple life.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
For
Like,
a simple
simple
clean,
is
classic.
simple?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to think about it. A car note, living in somewhere that you like alone. We can stop there. A car note and living somewhere that you like.
Because you didn't include the car insurance.
Oh,
if you
my
have the car
God.
note, you have the car insurance. It is what it is.
Having things you like is a luxury.
Yeah, it is. Period.
And most people, I would have gone
Point
up and
blank.
say most people don't get to experience things that they like within their life because a lot of people have to do what they can't. I can afford a Hyundai. I can live in this kind of area, get this kind of house, and I'll be okay. I'll be content. But to have a life that you
Content.
actually want takes a lot of money. And I think also because we're in this constant state of generations changing, we don't always know kind of about the whole social media landscape thing, right? Is celebrity changing? Likewise to money. I remember my dad was like, when I got my job making $50K, in my dad's brain, he was like, boy,
You did it.
you getting good money. I'm like, well, why I'm broke? Like, I'm not understanding.
No, yeah. I feel
Like,
it.
and just to give you a quick glimpse, because we made a funny joke earlier today where Lene was like Sim stable. And I'm gonna explain why that's also crazy, right? I have 3 streams of income right now.
Period.
4 if I
Work.
include my man.
Word.
And I am still, I still have to have moments where I'm like, okay, no to this. We can't do it. Like, I wanted to buy my new camera, 2 weeks ago. And then we ended up doing a pop-up shop. And even with that, I'm like, you know what? Hold on, because we're probably going to have to contribute this to this or blah, blah, blah. Hold on. There's so much that comes with maintaining the streams of income, whether that means that you have to pay money or you have to pay time. It's so expensive that when you say, how far do you have to get, how much you have to make to get far from broke, it's like, I know people who don't have one stream of income and they're just, you know what I'm saying? And I know me when I had one stream of income that I was dependent on and I was making 4 times as much as this, and I was so poor. Because nobody tells you about what you actually need to sustain.
Yeah.
And how vulnerable these jobs are now. I think about TikTok. There's TikTok creators who are exclusively on TikTok. That's their largest platforms where they make the bulk of their money. If this gets banned, it's a dub for you now. Bye bye to your money. And so it's like, even in that scope, it's like, yeah, it sounds cute, and even the whole thing, and I'll be quiet after this, the whole thing about having 7 months of living expenses saved up, that sounds really cute. Very cute. I would love that to be a thing for everybody. But I think we also need to understand that everybody who went into entrepreneurship was not leaving this grandiose job. Like, I think we saw in the beginning all these careers, I left my lawyer's job, I left my medical salary to become a full-time da-da-da-da-da.
And you have a 401k though.
And that's cute. I left a little cubicle. And it was kind of cute, but I left a cubicle. I had no months saved up, but it's like, and the amount of time it would have taken me to get 7 months, forget the dream at that point.
Right. Because what happens in that 7 months? I'm broken by
Not
the,
even
the
in that
second
7
month.
months. It's taking me so much
It
longer
took me
to
20
save
years
up.
to get to 7
To
months.
save up 7 months worth of expenses. And I know someone who saved. I know somebody who the economy was better at this time, but she had her stuff together, saved up, and she just wasn't working, going on trips out the country. And I was like, how does this work? I never seen it. And now we're all in the same boat once again, because how do we get jobs? And speaking of having jobs, I saw this post and I didn't know how regular of an occurrence it was, but I think it was either Mondays or Fridays. It had to be Mondays, but they said Mondays has become layoff day. And how common it was for people to be laid off. I remember having a meeting with someone who missed a work meeting and found out that there had been layoffs, and they were protected, thankfully, but it's just become so common. People are doing mergers, and when you do mergers, you don't need all these positions anymore. Yep. But here's a few list. Google has laid off tens of thousands of people since 2023. That's last year. Discord cut 17% of their workforce. Citi is set to cut 20,000 jobs by 2026. Last year, Amazon laid off 18,000 workers. Microsoft is cutting 1,900 jobs in gaming. And we're wondering why there are still actors who didn't sign those contracts because they're still worried about AI. Because the only reason we're able to continue doing work, laying off this many people, is because we're incorporating more AI into our stuff. And so, like, is it an economy booster? Really? No. We also, inflation rates over the last 5 years, 2019, 2.3%, 2020, 1.4%, 2021, 7%, 2022, 6.5%, 2023, 3.4%.
Is this collective?
It's like each.
What do you
year.
mean? Like in the economy's inflation rate?
Correct. Like,
Yes.
meaning like, so we add this up to where we got to since
Oh,
2019?
no. Just in those years.
Yeah,
That's
each
where
year.
inflation was based on the dollar. Based on the dollar
It
amount.
just gives we've always been broke for real.
And what's crazy to
And we're always
me is
gonna
I've not ignoring it, because you can't ignore it because it affects you.
Yeah.
But as far as like gas, I got to get gas. So I'd be sticking a thing in my gas tank and I'd be filling it up or whatever.
sure.
But I noticed the most recent time that my gas, which is the 93, was like $3 and some change. And I was like, oh, that feels normal. That feels like back when a time when people could afford things, only to find out that while we're not in a recession, we're in a silent recession.
And
That means prices are going up, but wages are staying the same.
Mm-hmm.
And it better, I hope, I don't know if it's included in the definition, but the cost of living is also going up. And that's something that really just pisses me off. And I got my first whiff of that when I moved to Boston for grad school, because the cost of living was just high because they said so. Just because they said so.
Yeah.
4 of us lived in one house. Each one of us was paying like $1,300 in rent. And that was normal. That was cheap. And now it seems to be the norm across the board.
I wonder what people who don't live in major cities have to say about us.
I don't know, but I'm finna move out there.
You know what I mean? Like, where I went to college, you can get a non-college apartment in the city where I went to college for, you can get a 1-bedroom for like $600, and you probably still can. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, are we, we live in major cities.
Right.
And so is there this assumption that living in a major city, it comes to being in a major city, like New York's, the Chicago's, the Atlanta's, the LA's, like, and so I'm in my mind thinking like, and I think even the idea of like what work is, I think about work culture when it comes to the economy. I think we think about the dollar, but like, because what I hear often is you can Uber Eats, you can Uber, you can do all these other tasks to bring in resources. But I think about like how still, like, why not protect them in the job market, like within comfortable job settings? You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody can't drive. Even the idea of having a car. I know, like, my mom got a car from Uber. She was Ubering or whatever, and they gave her like a car. I don't know how.
Interesting.
Yeah, they probably have the system of like, I don't know, affiliate program or whatever, but they give you a car and they pay a certain amount, whatever, but you have to drive so many amounts of rides
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. But again, like all of these like nuanced ways to still not make a lot of money. It's like,
I just think also, like, because remember I said when I was 22, I was in a small town. That's how I was also able to do all of those things. My rent was like, I want to say like $640 or whatever for a 2-bedroom townhouse.
Work.
But at the same time, I had to also put myself in a position to like, interview for certain positions so that I could make a little bit extra, because I knew I wasn't staying in a small town, but I also didn't have access to the things that I would have in a city, or to the people. I was very lonely a lot of the times. I was very bored a lot of the times. I couldn't eat a lot of the foods that I wanted to, or shop the places. I didn't have the convenience, right? So I think coming out here, it's just you give up one thing or the other, either way. And
that being normal to me is just not, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, either you're going to have convenience or you're going to have $5 extra at the end of the month. Which one you want?
And either one is kind of like mid.
What are we talking about?
Neither one of those things are desirable things to have or want.
Like, stop. Come
on. But I think I would love to continue this conversation next episode, because there's so much to go into it, and we're really just peeling back the cap on the muffin. We're really just peeling back the cap on the muffin right now.
When did muffins get capped?
And we do have to get out of here. So thank you so much for chatting with us. We will see you next week.
You just chapped my khakis, and I'm not playing.
And you really do have khakis on. That was very cute.
Thank you.
Okay, I liked it.
And we will see you next week on Hope for Maintenance.
Is there a heart?
Peace, guys.
Is there a heart in the house tonight? Stand up.
Stand up. Stand up.
This part for me.
Yeah.